Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Project Cars 2 on the GeForce GTX 1060 6GB. For FPS monitoring, I'll be using CAM. If you want to download this software, there's a link down in the description. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel directly, there's a link to the Patreon page down in the description as well. So Project Cars 2, I'll be doing 1080p, 1440p and 4K. To skip to any of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p, trying to get 60 frames per second. And to do so on Storms, I had to lower environment map from ultra to high in order to get to that frame rate. On the G4560 I saw some drops in the GPU usage when there are many cars on screen, so I decided for the rest of the video to use the overclocked Ryzen 3 1200. So I did the same 1080p test but using Ryzen 3. Then at 1440p I lowered some of the settings and ended up with high settings and a couple things on medium. And finally at 4K I overclocked the GTX 1060, which allowed me to be close to 60 frames per second. Using pretty much low settings and a few less demanding things on high, which means that I pretty much disabled particles and lowered the reflections on that resolution. I will now talk about CPUs and the options menu. So the G4560 was enough to get 60 frames per second pretty much all the time if your GPU can keep up, but I saw some dips every now and then with that CPU, especially when there's a lot going on, like many cars racing at once. That's why I used an overclocked Ryzen 3 1200 in order to be able to get the GPU usage higher, and by using that CPU I mainly saw GPU usage drops when we were around 90 frames per second or higher. The options menu will tell you to restart again when changing resolution or textures, but other things fortunately don't require you to do so. The most demanding stuff that you should lower first is MSAA, supersampling, reflections, environment map, particle level, particle density, shadow quality and detail grass. Other than that, it's usually fine to play. Lower the track and car detail if your CPU is the limitation. It helps a little bit there. If that's not enough, lower all that I told you in groups for a bigger performance boost. But reflections seem to be the most demanding stuff so far. You can play with up to 31 opponents. In all my videos I use 25 instead, since I don't expect everyone to use 31. Which in my opinion seems like too much. I also tested both sun and storm conditions. You'll always clearly see that storms are a huge hit in performance compared to clear, since we have a ton of reflections and particles involved, which hammer the GPU. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.